guys, today we're out at Foxwood again in Baden, just checking out the red. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. We're going to take a look at the red course at Foxwood out in Baden. This is the first tee box here. You're elevated over the fairway. The green is behind those trees on the left. You could try and go over those trees, but if you fall short, you're stuck in the trees trying to find your ball along with all the balls from the range, so it makes it a bit trickier for you. This is kind of the ideal placement you want to be, kind of top of the hill, middle of the fairway. It gives you a nice look as you're coming back in towards the green. If you're too far left, you're going to have trees in play, and if you go too far to the right, you could end up going down the hill and into the woods, tagging on an extra stroke for your first hole. Not the way you want to start your round. The greens, as mentioned previously, really large, easy to hit. It can make it tricky for putts depending on where you put your ball, but you know, not too hard. And the important lesson from golf right here, when someone says take it away, you take it away. Guarantee yourself that stroke. Hole 2 of the reds, you're looking at 140 yards or so. Most of it is water. You're looking tee box to green. You've got water, so don't be afraid to club up and go over that water. Like I said, the greens are big. You can end up at the back of the green and still have a chance to two-putt for par, but you don't want to go in that water and take that penalty stroke. This hole, if you do end up going to the right but not in the water, there is a small pathway there. If you look behind me, you can see it along the woods. Maybe you're dry, who knows, but there's a solid chance you might have not have gone in. Hole 3, 355 yards. If you're going to try and go for the green, you won't make the green, but you'll get pretty close. You just want to aim for the 2 trees on the right-hand side, up on the left there. That's where it kind of doglegs off to the left. This placement here where I've put it is kind of your ideal placement, middle of the fairway, just out there. Gives you that hard turn look at the green, so you can just knock that down pretty easily. I did come up short. Now, traditionally, the hills on the right-hand side of this green are pretty favorable. They'll bounce you down and put you on the skirt of the green. It was a bit wet out there, so mine did not make it. Kind of got eaten up by the grass. Thing to be aware of as you leave this hole and you head towards the 4th tee box for red, the 6th tee box for blue will be on your right-hand side and they're elevated. Just keep an eye out for them as you do make your way to the tee box, because the last thing you want to do is take a drive to the temple. It's going to shorten your round. Hole 4 here. You want to place your ball over to the right-hand side of the fairway if you can. The problem with the left-hand side is that depending on where you put yourself, the trees will overhang and come into play for your next shot. I did end up putting myself a bit too left, and you'll see that the trees do kind of stick out and block me from getting to the flag down there. So I kept that in mind, and I put it a bit too far right, and I end up sticking myself in the woods. Now, you know, this was a while back. I'm worried about my future in sports like Brooksy, so, you know, I was worried about these roots, thinking a bit too much about hitting them. So I ended up just kind of putting this one clean over the green and over top of the sand trap. Now, the sand traps here, this was around COVID, so they weren't in the greatest of shape. Sometimes, you know, you'd want to just take your ball out of the sand altogether. Do pay attention to what the rules are for sand traps. Foxwood has a lift, rake, replace. So what you can do, take your ball up, rake up the sand so it's a bit softer, put your ball back down and take that shot. So I missed that putt, which really upset Steve. He was really disappointed in me. Par 3, 150 yards. Trees along the right and kind of some rough stuff on the left. There was a bunker at the back of the green, so don't be afraid to play a little bit shorter, as there is a valley leading towards the green on a downhill slope and could help you roll onto the front of the green. Came up a little bit short on that, but was still able to get that par, which is nice considering this hole. So this is red 6. It's the par 5. It doglegs to the right. You've got trees all along the right-hand side, so you've got to play it more out to the left. And ideally where you want to place yourself is on the right-hand side of that hill on the left. That's going to give you a look down the fairway. This is a perfect lesson in playing smart. I was disappointed in those shots and decided to make a long hole even longer by doing stupid shots and trying to make it through the trees. So as mentioned before, again, the trees here, not the hardest to get out of, so I was able to just kind of smash one straight out onto the fairway and give myself finally a good look at the green. So There it is. Be aware as you're coming up on this green, there is water off to the right-hand side and a bunker on the front left. So you kind of want to put yourself over that bunker. The flag was off to the right, so I kind of played it safe and went more to the left. Figure I'd rather hit out of the sand than take that stroke penalty, considering how many strokes I was already going to take on this hole. Was able to knock this putt down. Sorry, not this one, the second putt. So ended up with an 8 on this one, but not the best. That's why you got to calm yourself down, and when you get back on the next tee box, push that out of your head and just focus on your next shot here. Now there is water, I would say, for a good part of this as you're right in front of the green. You will find yourself kind of putting yourself in front of the water if you can. The green just again cross the water. The water's not that big. I'd say probably 20, 30 yards, but there is a ton of rough grass and just kind of like marshland around it. If your ball goes into that, it is probably lost. Put myself off to the right, chip on. Again, this is a really elevated green to the point where even the back of the green is substantially higher than the front hand. So pay attention to where the flag is going to be on this one, because it's going to help you figure out where the best place to play your ball is going to be. Up here on 8, this is a drivable green, I'd say, to most people. There is a large bit of water behind the 2 trees on the right hand side. Now for some reason I did manage to lose the footage here. Don't know where it went, but I think I left myself about 65 yards, give or take, off of the green. Was able to chip myself on here. So again, I'm not the longest driver in the world, but I only put myself like 1 chip onto the green. So again, for some people it would be completely feasible that you could drive this one. As we make our way to red 9, again, this is one that could be within reach of some people. 292 yards. And the thing about this one is you kind of want to figure out how you want to either end your round, if this is your 18th hole or if you're about to make the turn. You want to decide if you want to build that confidence, just take a nice easy shot. I again put myself about 65 yards off. So to some people, you could make yourself up to the front skirt there, just on the left hand side, potentially putting yourself on from there. Now as you wrap up red, you'll be most likely going on to blue. To get to the blue, you're just going to want to head back towards the clubhouse. All 3 tee boxes are in the same general area. The blue one is the middle tee box. In the coming weeks, we will have the blue review for the 9. So my final thoughts for Foxwood. In regards to the course itself, it's pretty general overview. I mean, they have a decent banquet-sized room to host awards, large group meetings. The bar is nice when it can be open again. They'll have people in there. And there's a patio that overlooks the driving range, so after you're doing your round, you can go out, have a quick drink, talk about the round you just had, and kind of watch some of the guys working on their shots, and maybe take up some pointers from them if you need to. I'm currently out for a walk in the park, which fits well, because if you're an experienced golfer, that is what Foxwood might feel like to you. Where it excels is for those who are new or looking to improve on their game. But when it comes to the 3 courses, they're all pretty similar. No matter which 2 pairings you're going to play, you're going to find them familiar if you've ever played the other one. And I say that because you'll find no matter which 9 holes you're playing, there will be 1 par 5, 2 par 3s, and the rest are par 4s. That is the same for the whites, the blues, and the reds. So if you are a new golfer, this might be the great place for you to go and hone your skills and get a little bit better. Where it excels is for those who are new to the game or trying to improve. There are large fairways, which gives you a chance to build some confidence that you can hit fairways on your drives, as well as less than punishing wood shots. So should you end up in the forest, they're designed in a manner that is spaced out enough for you to find your ball easily, as well as get out and back onto the fairway without too much of a penalty for your bad shot. The important thing about that is it gives you a chance to punch out as well as go forward a bit. So you're not going completely sideways, you can get a decent line out of the woods heading back towards the green. Another way Foxwood helps is by having some pretty decent sized greens. So it's going to help you hit some greens and regulations on your approach shots and chips, therefore potentially taking 1 stroke off and giving you a little more play with your putting. In specific, let's talk about the reds. Pretty straightforward. There's a couple greens that could be drivable if you've got a strong enough shot. There's a few that are going to make you dogleg, so you've got to lay up, but for the most part it's a pretty straightforward course without too much of a challenge. The first hole on red is drivable, but you got to clear a ton of trees. So if you're feeling lucky, give it a shot. Otherwise, you're going to want to lay up. Gives you a good approach at the green and doesn't cost you too much stress. Because when you're in those woods looking for your ball, you're also looking at driving range balls too. But if you manage to find a Pro V1 driving range ball, it's still better than that noodle you got. Now, coming from the third green to the fourth tee box, be mindful that there is a tee box to your right that's going to be driving across you. So just keep an eye out for that. Make sure you're clear before you cross over to your next tee box, or you might end up crossing over. The par 5 is hole 6, and you've really got to put it out straight. There's no way to get around it. You're going to have to lay up on this one. It's not the worst thing in the world, but given the hard dog leg, right, you are going to have to put something up to the side. If you are going to play the blacks, as you leave 6 or to go through the trees, stop before you pass the water. There is a pathway to the black tees just off to the right. Holes 8 and 9, the greens are very in reach to a lot of people, even an average shooter. So think about what you want to do. You can go for glory, or you can play it safe. It's entirely up to you how you want to end your round. They're all thoughts. Foxwood, great for beginners. I still think the price point is a little bit high. You can range between $40 and $53 for a round of golf. That's walking, not with a cart, which is a bit high for some of the other courses in the area that are in a bit better condition. At times, Foxwood can suffer from the environment it's in. Fairways can dry up and be pretty dead in spots, and also really, really hard if there hasn't been any rain. The other thing is the white course. If there has been a lot of rain, be mindful that you could be dealing with a few holes that are suffering from waterlog that will eat your ball up hard and prevent you from getting any kind of carry. Overall, Foxwood is a very good course. It offers something for everyone, whether it's a way to ease into your game and get a little better, or if you're looking to challenge yourself, go to the back tees and increase your difficulty just a little bit. If you're in the area and you're looking to play, Foxwood isn't going to be a waste of time. Let me know in the comments below any courses you think I should check out in Ontario, or if you've ever played Foxwood before, let me know your thoughts on the course, whether it's the red, the white, or the blue. We'll see you next time on Middle Tees Golf.